Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I am Janine, a communication scientist, and on this channel, we break down societal dynamics, public figures, and controversial issues all through a communication science lens. So, thank you so much for joining me once again. So, recently, another prominent name surfaced in connection to the Epstein files, none other than Naomi Campbell. I just need to make a quick disclaimer at this point. Please note that there are no allegations in the documents that she committed any crime, and she has denied being aware of any of Epstein's illegal activities. And also, we cannot make any speculations unless we actually have evidence that points to an unrefuted truth. So I do think that it is important for us to always get these disclaimers out there, specifically when we are speaking about something so controversial and so sensitive. Now, getting back to the ever evolving Epstein saga, I have come to notice, though, that something interesting happens within the public collective every single time a new name is revealed. Sometimes we're shocked, sometimes we're not. So, for example, when Deepak Chopra's name appeared in the files and we saw all of those email exchanges, many people experienced a complete disruption of belief. And this is because Deepak Chopra represents spirituality. However, when it comes to other names, our reactions become almost more muted. And that tells us something very important about ourselves. We do indeed subconsciously rank celebrities by their perceived moral identity. So, when a celebrity's brand is intellectual or spiritual or activistic in nature, we almost immediately assume moral credibility, right? However, when a celebrity's brand is built on glamour, on power, on dominance, we are less surprised by controversy. And that's just the name of the game. We habitually make assumptions about people based on who they are and what their brand is all about. Now, let's get back to Naomi Campbell. So, for context, Naomi rose to fame in the late 1980s and became one of the most iconic supermodels of the 1990s. She broke racial barriers in high fashion and dominated global runways for major fashion houses. Her career definitely represents the peak of the supermodel era because it was a time where fame, exclusivity, and elite networks defined status. Now, here's the bigger questions that I have personally grappled with since the Epstein case started. And that is, why on earth were so many high profile figures from the 80s and 90s seemingly so comfortable being in close proximity to someone like Jeffrey Epstein? And yes, of course, many people may not have known about his illegal dealings, but it still begs an understanding of why he had so many people around him. And from a communication science perspective, in order to actually answer that question, we need to analyze how power operated during that era. Now, so often we do forget that there was a time where social media did not exist. And that is the exact time frame in which we need to assess the ways in which power unfolded amongst public figures. So, before digital transparency and social media in general, elite access was everything. And what this meant is that Careers were built through private networks. Gaining visibility or even having a lack of visibility depended entirely on gatekeepers. And of course, this meant that influence was consolidated and maintained within these very small circles. And this is why I do hold the very subjective opinion that we should actually give the celebrities of the 80s and the 90s their flowers. Because I do believe they worked extremely hard, much harder in relation to the celebrities who have just stepped on the scene in the last 15 years. And I am open to any disagreement on that if need be. But I mean, just think about it. Back then, it was so hard to break into the entertainment industry because there was no social media, there was no algorithm. If somebody wanted to be a radio DJ, for example, they needed to actually drop the demo off physically at the radio station. If somebody wanted to be a model, they needed to attend countless castings. So breaking into the industry took a lot of hard work. But today it is so easy to actually break into the industry and become popular in whichever capacity because talent has been redefined over and over again. We are definitely seeing this evolution within the entertainment industry, within the world of pop culture. And so at that time, when things were quite difficult, when it actually took hard work to break into the industry, power was centralized. And this meant that being in close proximity to powerful people became the social currency. Now, when proximity becomes social currency, something interesting happens. Moral caution weakens. So, what this means is that, let's say, for example, you want to break into the entertainment industry, and somebody powerful promises you a big break, or they promise you a certain amount of money. What happened is that the celebrities did not think like, hey, is this person a bad person or a good person? Does this person have skeletons in their closet or not? They never thought about any of these things. In this sense, basically, status was not scrutinized at the level in which it is being scrutinized today. And don't get me wrong, this isn't about excusing behavior, not at all. It's about understanding how systems operated at that time. So, especially in the 80s and 90s, in highly competitive industries like fashion and entertainment, networking with powerful people and being a part of these exclusive circles was normalized. Access meant opportunity. And this is why the term socialite was so big back then. Everyone wanted to be a socialite. All the big celebrities wanted to go to certain parties because they wanted to be around other celebrities. They wanted to be around other powerful people and rub shoulders with those people because that is how careers were built. Back then, the hustle was truly the hustle. So, what we are witnessing today isn't just scandal and exposure, it's actually an historical re examination. Because many of the millennials today, including myself, are quite literally seeing the icons of our youth re evaluated in real time. Remember, this is not a time in which the new celebrities are being re evaluated. No, the spotlight right now is completely focused on figures that became big within the 80s and 90s and even way before that. And that, of course, has the power to destabilize identities because to us, the millennials, celebrities and pop culture is not just mere entertainment. It actually shapes and continues to shape our cultural memory. So the bigger lesson is not about individual shock. It's not about shock. It's not the shock value that's important here. It's not about celebrity gossip. What we are understanding or seeking to understand is the ways in which power sustained itself back then and how we are actually seeing that power collapse in real time because scrutiny is increasing. A spotlight is being put on things that we never even knew was there. Things are being revealed. And this is not to say that the celebrities of the 80s and 90s were, for lack of better word, quote unquote, naive. I don't think they were. It's just that back then, time was money, and there was a focus solely on breaking into the industry. And this is why, as mentioned earlier, moral caution weakened. People never really saw the red flags, or they possibly may have seen red flags but ignored those red flags because building the career, networking, that was really important. So if you, like myself, have been wondering, like, oh my word, why are my icons of the youth being butchered? Why are they being revived in relation to a scandal? This is why. It's because the celebrities of the 80s and 90s built their careers through powerful networks. They needed to be in close proximity to powerful people, and amongst those powerful people existed a man who committed horrendous acts, Jeffrey Epstein. And unfortunately, a lot of innocent names are being dropped. That's the name of the game. A lot of people are going to face the consequences they need to face. But this is why we are seeing what we are seeing today. This is the shadow side of what happens when careers are built through very enclosed sort of structures. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave this video right here for now. Thank you for diving this deep with me. If you enjoy these deep conversations in which we analyze controversy through a communication science lens, I would appreciate your support. So please do subscribe, like this video, comment, and don't forget to share it with whoever you think might need to see it. Okay, so I am seeing you. So much love, and I'll see you in the next video.